Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Handlebar ASMR. For this episode, I'm going to do something from one of my favorite fandoms, and that fandom is The Office. The Office is probably one of my favorite shows that I have ever watched, and I've watched it multiple times. In fact, it is like the show that if I can't find something on Netflix, the next thing I know, I'm gonna watch just one episode of The Office, and I end up watching pretty much every season again, or I at least do my favorites of The Office. So, for this episode, I am gonna be reading my favorite quotes from The Office. Now, The Office went for a very long time, and I got the quotes that I could remember, but I'm sure I didn't get all the best quotes, so I need you to back me up with your comments and everything and remind me of the quotes that I missed that are really funny, because I know I didn't get them all. The Office is such a funny show, and a lot of stuff sticks out in your mind, but then it's some of the more subtle things that is really funny later on. So back me up with your comments and everything. Also, I just want to say thank you to every person who subscribed to my channel. I see every one of you guys that subscribes, and I really appreciate it. So thank you. I really do mean that. And without further ado, let's begin with my favorite quotes from The Office. Drum roll, please, because the first quote is actually not just my favorite quote from The Office. It's actually one of my mantras for life. And as soon as I heard it in The Office, I pretty much adopted it as one of those ideals that you take into yourself. And the quote is, "I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you've actually left them." And that's by Andy Bernard in the series finale of The Office. And I have to say, some days we forget that we might be living in the best of our days, so we gotta make the most of everything. And that's what I try to do with life. So that really hit me hard. That whole final episode hit me hard. I kind of felt like I was losing a little bit of family when The Office went off the air. But with that out of the way, let's get to the funny stuff. Of course, we're going to begin with "That's What She Said," Michael Scott. "I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious," Michael Scott. "If I had a gun with 2 bullets and I was in a room with Hitler, Bin Laden, and Toby, I would shoot Toby twice," Michael Scott. "Sometimes I'll start a sentence and I don't even know where it's going. I just hope I find it along the way," Michael Scott. I'm guilty of that too. "Close your eyes. Picture a convict. What's he wearing? Nothing special. Baseball cap on backwards. Baggy pants. He says something ordinary like, 'Yo, that's shizzle.' Okay, now slowly open your eyes again. Who are you picturing? A black man? Wrong. That was a white woman. Surprised? Well, shame on you," Michael Scott. "Beats, Bears, Battlestar Galactica," Jim Halpert. "Did I stutter?" Stanley Hudson. "Well, happy birthday, Jesus. Sorry your party's so lame," Michael Scott. "I have a lot of questions. Number 1, how dare you, Kelly Kapoor?" "Times have changed a little, I'm upper management, and it would be inappropriate for me to take a bath with Pam as much as I might want to. Michael Scott. Dwight, you ignorant slut. Michael Scott. Sorry I annoyed you with my friendship. Andy Bernard. I feel like all my kids grew up and they married each other. It's every parent's dream. Michael Scott. And I knew exactly what to do, but in a much more real sense, I had no idea what to do. Michael Scott. Also guilty of that. I declare bankruptcy. Michael Scott. I feel God is in this Chili's tonight. Pam Beasley. Everybody stay calm. Stay fucking calm. Michael Scott. If you pray enough, you can change yourself into a cat person. Angela Martin. Guess what? I have flaws. What are they? Oh, I don't know. I sing in the shower sometimes. I spend too much time volunteering. Occasionally, I'll hit somebody with my car. So sue me. No, don't sue me. That's the opposite of the point that I'm trying to make. Michael Scott. From one of my favorite episodes. One day, Michael came in complaining about a speed bump on the highway. I wonder who he ran over then. Jim Halpert. Jim is not allowed to talk until after he buys me a Coke. Those are the rules of Jinx, and they're unflinchingly rigid. Pam Beasley. Pam Beasley. The machine knows. Stop yelling at me. There's no road here. Michael Scott and Dwight Schrute. Sometimes the clothes at Gap Kids are too flashy, so I'm forced to go to the American Girl store and order clothes for large colonial dolls. Angela Martin. There's a lot of beauty in ordinary things. Isn't that kind of the point? Michael Scott. And it's very true. I don't want anything. I'm dying. Michael Scott. Also, me on a normal day at work. Wikipedia is the best thing ever. Anyone in the world can write anything they want about any subject, so you know you're getting the best possible information. Michael Scott. And that reminds me, I know I've not got it in my list, but as I was listening to that one, it actually popped up in my head. It went something like, I need to make sure that YouTube comes down and tapes this. Michael Scott. The only thing that can make this day better is ice cream. Michael Scott. And that's also true. The worst thing about prison was the Dementors. They were flying all over the place, and they were scary, and they'd come down, and they'd suck the soul out of your body, and it hurt. Prison Mike. I am Beyonce, always. Michael Scott. Why don't you explain this to me like I'm 5? Michael Scott. I understand nothing. Michael Scott. I am optimistic, but every day I get a little more desperate. Michael Scott. And maybe me just a little bit. Do you think smoking drugs is cool? Do you think doing alcohol is cool? Michael Scott. This is our receptionist, Pam. If you think she's cute now, you should have seen her a couple of years ago. Michael Scott. You know what they say, fool me once, strike one, but fool me twice, strike 3. Michael Scott. It's not like booze ever killed anyone. Michael Scott. I enjoy having breakfast in bed. I like waking up to the smell of bacon. Sue me. And since I don't have a butler, I do it myself. So most nights before I go to bed, I will lay 6 strips of bacon on my George Foreman grill. Then I go to sleep. When I wake up, I plug in the grill. I go back to sleep again. Then I wake up to the smell of crackling bacon. Michael Scott. And not a bad idea, except if you remember he burned his foot. Michael Scott. You want to hear a lie? What? I think you're great. You're my best friend. Michael Scott. Toby Flinderson. I would not miss it for the world. But if something else came up, I would definitely not go. Michael Scott. It is St. Patrick's Day. It's the closest that the Irish will ever get to Christmas. Michael Scott. That was offensive and lame. So double offensive. This is an environment of welcoming, and you should just get the hell out of here. Michael Scott. I don't have a lot of experience with vampires, but I have hunted werewolves. I shot one once, but by the time I got to it, it had turned back into my neighbor's dog. Dwight Schrute. I saved a life, my own. Am I a hero? I really can't say. But yes, Michael Scott. I just want to lie on a beach and eat hot dogs. That's all I've ever wanted. Kevin Malone. Sounds pretty good to me. I'm fast. To give you a reference point, I'm somewhere between a snake and a mongoose and a panther. Dwight Schrute. Saddle shoes with denim. I will literally call Child Protective Services. Oscar Martinez. Would I rather be feared or loved? Easy. Both. I want people to be afraid of how much they love me. Michael Scott. When I die, I want to be frozen, and if they freeze me in pieces, so be it. I will wake up stronger than ever because I will have used that time to figure out exactly why I died and what moves I could have used to defend myself better now that I know what hole he had me in. Dwight Schrute. I taught Mike some phrases to help with his interracial conversations. You know, stuff like fleece it out, go in Mach 5, dink and flicka. You know, things us Negroes say. Daryl Philbin. Why tip someone for a job I'm capable of doing myself? I can deliver food. I can drive a taxi. I can do my own hair. I can cut my own hair. I did, however, tip my urologist because I'm unable to pulverize my own kidney stones. Dwight Schrute. I wake up every morning in a bed that's too small, drive my daughter to a school that's too expensive, and then I go to work at a job which I get paid too little. But on pretzel day, well, I like pretzel day. Stanley Hudson. A 30-year mortgage at Michael's age essentially means he's buying a coffin. If I were buying my coffin, I would get a thicker wall so you couldn't hear what the other dead people said. Dwight Schrute. Disposable cameras are fun, but it seems a little wasteful. You never get to see your pictures. Kelly Aaron Hannon. And do I have a special someone? Well, yeah, of course. A bunch of them. My employees. If I had to choose between a one-night stand with some stupid cow I pick up in a bar and these people, I pick them up every time. Because with them, it is an everyday stand, and I still know their names in the morning. Michael Scott. And those are some of my favorite office quotes. And now I want to watch The Office again, not gonna lie. So, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope that you will join me again for another episode of Handlebar ASMR. And, like I said, if I missed your favorite quote, let me know in the comments section.